everyone, and welcome to Cybersmart Conversations with Harsha. I have with me Ridhima Nair. Ridhima leads the Environmental, Social, and Governance program at RioCan. In her 4-plus-year tenure at RioCan, Ridhima has advanced RioCan ESG vision, strategy, and practices. Thank you for joining. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Harsha?
I'm good, thank you. And great to have you, Ridhima.
Thank you so much.
Ridhima, so one of the questions as an icebreaker I always like to start with is to share about your career path. So tell us about your career journey.
Sure. I earned my bachelor's degree in civil engineering in Mumbai, India, where I started my career as a civil engineer on a construction site in a leading construction company. And that's when I realized basically this industry is very energy intensive and high risk, and that developed the interest in me to pursue my master's in sustainability. So there I go. I ended up doing my master's degree in the United States, where I worked for a few years in the energy and sustainability sector before moving to Canada. Currently, as you know, I lead the ESG program at RioCan. For those who don't know RioCan is one of Canada's largest REITs that owns, manages, and develops retail-focused mixed-use properties located in major markets of Canada. And prior to joining RioCan, I worked for Ernst & Young's climate change and sustainability practice, where again, sustainability was the focus. Throughout this entire journey, I think the biggest, the thing that is, that keeps me encouraged and focused is the connection with the community. While I was working in New York City, I volunteered for Envirolution, an organization that is focused on community revitalization through green jobs training. I still stay connected with the community today, as I'm connected to the real estate management program at the Ted Rogers School of Management at the Ryerson University in an advisory role.
That's impressive. So, and sustainability is the key. So today's topic is sustainability response to COVID-19.
Yes.
And we have seen, like, despite the global economic and health crisis resulting from the pandemic, many companies have continued to intensify their efforts in ESG. We have seen increase in the net zero emissioning programs across the globe, health and safety of the employees, wellness of occupants. So over the long run, COVID-19 could prove to be a major turning point for ESG investing. And we have seen a lot of investors asking questions about ESG, what you are doing, sustainability. So what are some of the potential long-term effects of COVID-19 that you are seeing on ESG?
That's a great question. And you brought up all the right points, Harsha. Talking about the effects, I think this pandemic has resulted in a social crisis movement. When we look back, the last 2 years will be remembered as turbulent years that have left a big legacy. Up until now, within the ESG focus, I think environmental and governance issues were always given a lot of emphasis, and everyone used to question us about it. As you just mentioned, net zero and carbon. But what came out of this pandemic is the importance of the S in the ESG, that is the social issues, the focus on people, be it our employees, our community, our suppliers, our consumers. They've all been very important to us, but I think they've come to the forefront and they've become the center stage today. At RioCan, we value people and endeavor to extend support in all forms. We ensure, and I would say we are continuing to ensure collectively that we collectively survive this phase in our lives and business as responsible citizens. For example, I think RioCan ended up introducing so many initiatives, programs. One of the programs is through RioCan Cares. We did a lot of community outreach, community work through at our centers. We set up food bank donation drop-offs in our shopping centers, hosted physically distanced community events such as farmers market, drive-in movies. for RioCan employees, we came up with a lot of health and wellness initiatives, benefits, so that everyone, all our people understand that RioCan is here to care during such challenging times. I think the pandemic has taught us the importance of doing good business, be more responsible, be more accountable for our own actions, and measure that impact. I think I want to sum it up by saying that we need to think more holistically from a long-term perspective rather than just chase tactical gains, and do business without losing the sight of the greater common good.
Yeah, and you rightly said, because we have always seen the E and the G coming up. But yes, pandemic has taught us the importance of the social factor as well. Because we have seen, like you said, many companies are expanding efforts to protect the safety of the workforce. So, you see so many health and wellness programs that has come as a response to the COVID-19. Even businesses are putting their business continuity and disaster recovery plan to the test.
Absolutely.
Which we they were documented, but you have never seen the actual test or how well they are executed. So yeah, this is one of the things that we have recently seen. So when it comes to the response strategy, so what is the COVID-19 response strategy to support sustainability or ESG as a program?
Sure. This pandemic highlighted the need to align with all our stakeholders, and continue building a stronger ESG program. In this, I think the volatile and uncertain world, resilience and purpose-driven strategy is most important for a thriving business. And this is what ESG is all about, right? Like, just be responsible, make sure when you are doing business, you are doing it for the greater good of the society. You are at the same time responding to the bigger challenges along the way, be it climate change, social inequality, or health and wellness in built-up environments. At RioCan, what we are doing is we are embedding sustainability criteria and due diligence throughout the life cycle of our sites, whether it's part of our business as usual, or it's basically part of our strategic planning, acquisitions, operations, or developments. We treat it as part of our business, and I would say that's how we are trying to respond to this to this whole situation that we are in.
Yeah, and that's great, because as part of this, we have seen increase in adoption of technologies, and sustainability, technology, they go hand in hand. And now with digitization, you get access to the connected network, you get access to the data coming from devices or equipments in a building. And the data generated by these smart systems and IoT devices, they provide unique opportunities to actually strategically address the challenges associated with the sustainability goals. If we talk about these IoT devices or artificial intelligence that can optimize energy production, water treatment, so it is a market differentiator. So how you ensure that technology supports the sustainability goal?
Sure. I definitely agree with all the points that you've mentioned. Technologies like IoT, 5G, AI/ML indeed have proved to be a big enablers and catalysts in sustainability journeys of enterprises, right from real-time data collection to analysis for insights to dissemination of information, and automation of actions. Technology is enabling it all. Technology is helping enterprises realize use case related to energy consumption, whether it's energy consumption or if it's for predicting extreme weather events. Technology has it all. I think from a sustainability goal perspective, not all references and scenarios of technology are positive from a sustainability perspective. I do believe that technology is a resource like any other, and it is our duty to use it responsibly. We all need to qualify, evaluate technologies, then pilot them before adopting and deploying at scale. This helps to channelize our investments in pursuit of the desired operational and business outcomes. I can give you an example. At RioCan, we have at one of our sites, we are piloting an AI-based waste management system. designed to help our guests recycle their items properly at the point of disposal. And I think what we're trying to do is we're seeing from the lens that these technologies are not here to replace a human element or factor. They are basically there to help the operators on site and then meet the sustainability goals. So like here, the sustainability goal is to increase the waste diversion from the landfills, at the same time educating the community. So this AI-based system is actually educating the community to properly sort the waste so that they're recycling it correctly and there's less contamination. In the bargain, the operator is at ease, is able to manage the entire show at the site, and we are educating the community and meeting the sustainability goals.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you on this, because you need to have a use case. Like you have a sustainability goal, define a use case, then go for a technology to support that use case. It should not be the other way around.
Absolutely, I think it's so important to have that strategy, the approach, and the defined goals, what we are looking for. Otherwise, I think we can get completely lost, and some of these shiny things can get us carried away many times.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree with you on this. Now, coming to the sustainability criteria, I was talking to someone that, and the guy, he said, in some ways, we see the COVID-19 crisis, has become a dry run for the sustainability agenda. There was a sustainability agenda, but past 2 years, we have seen a lot of acceleration in this area. So it's been taken as an opportunity for companies to see, how they can tackle an expanding range of ESG challenges. So what are the top 3 learnings from the pandemic to modify the building sustainability criteria?
Sure, I think that's a very interesting question. I think my first point will be still stick with your basics, stick with your values. I think at RioCan, we are focused on 4 values, or 5 values, basically being bold, adaptable, responsible, entrepreneurial, and being trusted. So I think in anything that we are doing, don't forget these values. Make sure we are making the right decisions. And I think pandemic or not pandemic, I think remember this. And I think through pandemic, we were just reiterated this to us that yes, do not forget your basics, stick to your values, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you'll get your way. The other thing I think the pandemic definitely highlighted was we have to collaborate, find ways of collaborating with all our partners. We are trying to solve big challenges, whether it's social inequality, whether it's around climate change. These are big problems. And we are not going to be solving it alone. If you say RioCan or any of the organizations in the industry are going to solve it alone, no, we are not going to solve it alone. We have to have our partners, our tenants, our communities, our suppliers. So I think, again, going back to the social element, the social factor is such an important factor to get us where we want to be. So I think collaboration is the second most important point. And then we should not forget that buildings are here to serve a purpose. They're here for the society, for the community. So again, focus on the human and the social element while designing our new buildings and embedding these, these factors within when we are retrofitting our existing sites as well. So I think some of the key points that came out during the pandemic were the health and wellness criteria. We need to improve that in our existing sites and ensure they're embedded within our new developments. From a diversity and inclusion factor, right, to ensure that our site designs include these factors. And last but not least, obviously, climate change, right? So with all that we are facing, we have to ensure that our designs are resilient and we are optimizing energy wherever possible to ensure that we're not taking away anything from the environment, and trying to give back to the environment.
Great. Yeah. And the key to success is stick to your basic. And the way we talk about connected devices, integrated network, the same way collaborate with the right stakeholders.
Yes.
Thank you, Ridhima, for sharing those insights, and it was a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Harsha. Likewise.